Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit that notification bell, get all the updates. I'm really excited for today's video. The beer's courtesy of Billy. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. It's another one of the Bruery's donut beers, which have been, actually, I was going to say either at the very least fun to delicious. But I've liked every single one of them, actually. I mean, some more than others, sure. But I've actually, enjoyed all of them. So I don't think this is going to be any different. Great name. It's called Cherry Blawesome, but it's like awesome, but with BL at the beginning. Cherry Blawesome. Love the name. Bourbon barrel. Who hasn't had this style 1,000 times? So it's bourbon barrel aged blonde stout with cherries, almonds, graham crackers, milk sugar, and Madagascar vanilla beans. 11.2% ABV, and it's a collaboration with District Donut and Coffee. And again, it's the Bruery. Does say some stuff on the back. I mean, given the adjuncts, I'll just read it. I don't care if it has tasting notes. Cherry Blawesome was inspired by a favorite donut of ours released annually in DC to coincide with the cherry blossom season. That makes perfect sense because DC is famous for that. The donut uses sour cherries, creamy frosting, almonds, and pie crust crumble. We did our darndest to recreate this donut experience in bourbon barrel aged liquid form with our friends at District Donut. Yeah, beautiful in DC when the cherry blossoms bloom. If you haven't had a chance to go, they were a gift from Japan, right? But why? Don't remember. Wow. I looked not at my glass and was quite surprised by that. We have 3.5 fingers of head. Holy crap. So they're calling it a white stout. I mean, it kind of looks like a deep like a barley wine kind of color. It's very, you know what it looks like? It looks like caramel. Like straight up just, it looks like caramel. The head, kind of based off the liquid, is not surprising because it does almost like a copper. It does look like white mixed with like a copper caramel coloring. Small bubbles. I wouldn't say overly compact. Small bubbles. So wow, that kicked out a lot of carbonation. Barrel aging, the ABV, and all those adjuncts. Did not think it would pour that much head. So that is very surprising to me. Let's see if I can get some aroma on this. Very sweet confection, like just straight confectionery sugar even. I get a lot of this sweet milk, or no, sweet vanilla icing. It's very much sweet vanilla icing. Which makes perfect sense. It's like cream cheese frosting. Wow. Which makes sense with the lactose vanilla in there. Ooh. Kiss of the that cherry note. Interesting. And it's actually no. It's a little sour cherry. But I know the descriptor said that, but what kind of is it? They're just saying cherries on the front though in the beer. Yeah, it's kind of wow. Adding a cool layer of complexity, almost like a res or a cherry tart that you smeared cream cheese frosting on. Because you get a little bit of that sour and a twang that you can give that, the sour cherries, but that cream cheese frosting, you get a little bit of that twanginess from the cream cheese, and wow. Nice bourbon note. Wow, this is, wow. Even if, when I taste this beer, even if this beer sucks, this aroma, fantastic, totally turn it into a candle, but also, totally worth just the smell. It's so different, and there are, it's mostly not beer smelling, but then that bourbon, even though it's a spirit and not, obviously, beer, kind of ties it back into the alcohol realm, at least. So, yeah, it does not smell like a beer. It smells fantastic, though. And then it's got some interesting things going that you don't typically, actually a lot of interesting things that you don't ever get in beer. Wow, okay. I think I've talked enough and let the head go down enough to try it. Cheers. Thanks again, Billy. Right now, I'm somewhere in the middle. I definitely don't love it. And I definitely don't hate it. It's not surprising given all the adjuncts. This is a really interesting beer. Wow. Things that are definitely like the aroma. I'm assuming that it's specifically sour cherries they're using in this beer, not just, regular cherries or something. Like, it just says cherries. Because there is a sourness to it, but not like in an infection way, but it's kind of a trip because, beers when they get, especially like I know this is a blonde stout, but like, I think about those like 2015 bourbon counties that got soured, and you did get like this cherry note, but it's kind of like too real of a cherry, not, oh, this souring note kind of tastes like cherry. You get that twang, I think between the cherries and the lactose, you do get this like, just like I was saying, the aroma with the cream cheese frosting, you get this like, it's sweet, but you get this twang. Warmth on the chest for sure. Pretty high ABV, but not. If you watch a lot of my reviews, you know the kind of beers I drink, and have a pretty good tolerance for higher ABV beers because I do drink a lot of higher ones. But definitely warmth in the chest, not so much on the palate. The vanilla is there, but again, it's kind of like this frosting thing, but in beer form. Being a blonde stout, it doesn't, have a ton of roast to it. But it also doesn't drink like a barley wine or something else. It's just very unique. Like just the base beer of this, I'm sure is a really interesting drinking experience without all of these adjuncts, barrel aging included. I think I've exhausted my initial thoughts, so I do have to go in again to get maybe some other thoughts. Trip of a beer. You could tell by the aroma this was going to be quite an experience, but man, like, wow. A little bit of like this it's cherry working with everything else, but like you almost get this like cranberry, cherry, apple thing. No chocolate or anything like that, like given the base beer, I would think, it could. Obviously, it's not the roastiest chocolatey malts that are ever, have been used in a beer. But I thought maybe it'd kick out a little bit more roast being, a stout. But yeah, no chocolate, no anything like that. It's very much as advertised, I don't get the graham cracker. I get what they're going for. So, okay, just to go through it all. Bourbon barrel age, you do get some of the barrel. You get some of the spirit. Actually, I haven't gotten much like oak or anything. The cherries for sure. There's no question you get cherries in this beer. Almonds, they're not jumping out to me. Graham crackers not jumping out to me. I don't get like a cinnamon note if they're like cinnamon covered graham crackers that they were using. The milk sugar I think I've spoken about a lot. Same with the vanilla. So I think those are unmistakably there. And again, 11.2% ABV. So I think that also, again, I still have this warmth in the chest, but not getting it on the palate. Maybe like 3/4 of the way through the palate, I get a little bit of oak, but it's not much. But maybe because there's so many sweet things going on. Then there's all these things kind of balancing the sweetness, the sourness of the cherries, that twang thing I keep talking about. A little bit of dryness, probably from the oak, and I get a little. But maybe I'm just thinking that I'm tasting it at this point. But like, yeah, I think I've exhausted everything I need to say about this. I'm gonna say this is above anything else a fun beer. And I'm gonna stick to that initial reaction. I don't love this beer. I certainly don't hate this beer either. This is one of those beers that, like, if it was an option on a flight, no brainer. So much fun to try, kind of a thing. I'm gonna go make dinner and finish the rest of this for dessert, and it's very much an appropriate dessert beer. So thanks again, Billy, for sending it. Like, this was, again, fun. Just sometimes it's nice to have fun while drinking a beer. This is fun. Have you guys had this beer before? Have you had a beer that was fun lately you want to tell me about? Anything, everything, comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.